If you've ever been totally baffled by the unpredictable nature of romance, trust me, you are not alone. Today, we're moving past the usual dating advice cliches and looking straight at the actual science of attraction. We're going to break down exactly what happens in a man's brain that takes casual interest and transforms it into absolute undeniable devotion. And more importantly, we'll explain why, when men finally do fall, they fall so much harder than we typically expect.
It's the ultimate modern dating mystery, isn't it? You see a guy date a wonderful person for years, never fully committing, always kind of dragging his feet. Then they break up, and literally months later, he meets someone new and falls instantly. Suddenly, he's completely hooked, loyal, and emotionally all in. It feels totally random. It honestly feels unfair. But the truth is, it's highly predictable once you understand the psychology at play.
Section 1. The tip of the iceberg. The visual hook.
To really understand why a man falls, we have to start at the surface. We have to validate that yes, physical cues and visual triggers are absolutely what gets you in the door. Evolutionary psychology naturally wires a man's brain to notice specific visual cues that signal health, vitality, and approachability. Things like bouncy hair and soft curls imply natural energy. Even a simple ponytail exposing the neck triggers a subconscious attraction response because, well, the neck is a delicate, feminine feature. And colors speak volumes too. Wearing red instinctively signals passion and confidence, while blue communicates this really profound, inviting calmness. But here's the catch. These triggers spark attraction for sure, but they do not create love.
Section 2. The psychology of presence. Moving from how someone looks on the outside to the energy they carry on the inside, that is exactly where attraction deepens into something truly magnetic. We live in a world that basically pressures everyone to be in constant performance mode. You know the feeling. We're told to stress, to prove ourselves, to overachieve, and to wear this heavy, masculine armor just to survive the day. But contrast that against true feminine presence. Now, this isn't about being weak, it's about the pure, magnetic power of simply being comfortable in your own skin. It's about being, receiving, allowing, and softening. When a man encounters someone who isn't trying to constantly prove themselves, it is incredibly intoxicating.
And that brings us to what psychologists and behaviorists call the magnetic gesture. It's actually 3 specific elements combined into one. First, calm, intentional energy, basically slowing down just enough to show you are steady. Second, warm eye contact that isn't desperately searching for his approval, but simply sharing the moment. And third, relaxed silence. Together, these elements completely bypass his conscious thoughts and signal directly to his nervous system that you are safe. And for him, that is an incredibly rare feeling.
Think about this. Silence, when handled with confidence, is magnetic. Most people panic the exact second there's a quiet pause, right? They fill it with jokes, fast talking, or that nervous laughter. But relaxed silence is actually the hardest and most powerful piece of this whole puzzle. When you can just sit next to a man and be, you give his mind the necessary space to process his growing feelings. You're essentially proving that you don't need constant noise to feel secure.
Section 3. The secret. Emotional safety.
Okay, here is the core psychological secret of why a man actually falls, and why, when he does, he falls so incredibly hard. Think about his daily reality. From a very young age, men are conditioned to treat life like a literal battlefield. They're always competing, guarding their feelings and performing. They carry these emotional wounds incredibly quietly. So when he is with someone and experiences true emotional safety, when he is met with calm understanding instead of judgment, it feels like an absolute physical relief. It's the one place in his otherwise chaotic world where he can finally drop his heavy armor and just breathe.
I really want you to take this away from today's explainer. A man doesn't fall in love when he feels impressed, he falls when he feels safe enough to be real. Deep attachment is born from vulnerability met with complete non-judgmental acceptance. When he reveals a fear or a past mistake and you don't instantly try to fix him or lecture him, you essentially become his emotional refuge.
Section 4. The biology of deep bonding.
Now, this isn't just theory or nice poetry, this is measurable biology. When he feels that emotional safety, his brain starts physically rewiring itself to bond with you. First, we look at cortisol, this stress hormone. Modern life keeps this constantly pumping through a guy's veins, but as he feels safe around you, his cortisol levels just plummet. His nervous system relaxes. His body literally recognizes your presence as a physical relief from the pressures of his everyday life. Then, oxytocin enters the chat. This is the bonding hormone. While women can release oxytocin fairly easily through deep conversation and affection, men generally have much lower baseline levels.
For a man, it requires this very specific trigger of emotional safety to release high amounts of oxytocin and form that undeniable, loyal bond. Next up is dopamine, the famous reward chemical. When his brain experiences the pleasure and relief of your emotional safety, dopamine links those good feelings directly to your presence. It fuels his motivation and his desire. He literally begins to crave your company because his brain is chemically rewarding him just for being near you.
And finally, we have mirror neurons. These are brain cells that fire when we feel deeply seen and emotionally mirrored by someone else. So the crucial point here is that when you listen with real empathy, without trying to jump in and fix his problems or inject your own ego, these neurons synchronize your connection. It makes him realize that this rare bond isn't just in his head, it is entirely mutual and truly shared.
When this whole biological cocktail goes to work, so as his cortisol drops, his oxytocin rises, and his dopamine spikes, his brain completely rewires itself. You are no longer just someone he finds attractive. You are chemically imprinted in his brain as his main source of peace, safety, and happiness. This extreme chemical contrast from his stressful daily life is exactly why men fall so hard and fast.
Section 5. Physical proof of love.
So how does this massive internal psychological shift actually manifest physically in the real world? Well, because men often struggle to use words to explain their feelings, their bodies end up speaking the truth for them. A really perfect way to map this is the progression of his physical touch, specifically the hug timeline. It starts at point 1, the friendly shoulder hug. One arm, keeping a bit of distance. He's maintaining safe boundaries. Then we move to point 2, the gentle testing hug. Both arms this time, but it ends just a little bit early. He's quietly processing if there's a real connection here. And finally, point 3, the meaningful lingering hug. His arms wrap around you with real intention and he stays there. His intentions have shifted entirely from cautious boundaries to undeniable attraction.
Ultimately, all of this progresses to what we call the soul-deep embrace. This is the absolute ultimate physical proof of love. In this hug, time seems to just slow down completely. All of his emotional walls drop. His breathing rhythm actually matches yours. He isn't holding you because he thinks he should. He's holding you because his nervous system has officially recognized you as his absolute safe space.
And I want you to pay really close attention to this one detail. Where are his hands resting during this embrace? When his hands slide down to your lower back, or if one hand gently cups the back of your neck, it is incredibly revealing. He is shedding his need for rigid control and stepping into a deeply loving, highly protective mode. He's silently telling you that he wants to shield you and care for you.
Which brings us to the most important question of all today. Knowing all of this, the biology, the psychology, the undeniable power of presence, will you stop performing? Will you put down the heavy armor, drop the exhausted dating games, and let your authentic, relaxed presence become his emotional safe place? Because when you do that, you don't just capture his attention, you capture his heart in a way that science proves he simply cannot walk away from. Think about that for a bit.